Welcome to Starship TV, the Nestorian Church, Church of the East, a complete historical and theological report. Introduction. The Nestorian Church, more accurately known as the Church of the East, is one of the most ancient and globally expansive branches of Christianity. Flourishing independently of the Roman and Byzantine traditions, it developed within the Persian Empire, and spread Christianity across vast regions of Asia, from Mesopotamia to India, China, Central Asia, and Mongolia. Often misunderstood and labeled heretical in the West, the Church of the East preserved a unique theological tradition, claimed direct apostolic origins, and conducted one of the most impressive missionary campaigns in Christian history. Apostolic origins of the Church of the East. Unlike the Roman or Byzantine churches, the Church of the East traces its spiritual lineage to St. Thomas the Apostle and his disciples. St. Thomas the Apostle, believed to have traveled east after Christ's resurrection, Thomas evangelized parts of Mesopotamia, Persia, and later India, where he was martyred near present-day Chennai. The St. Thomas Christians of Kerala, India, trace their faith directly to him. Addai, Thaddeus. One of the 70 disciples and possibly the same person as Jude, brother of James, Addai was sent by Thomas to evangelize Edessa, modern Urfa, and northern Mesopotamia, where he founded Christian communities. Mari. A disciple of Addai, Mari brought the gospel to Seleucia, Ctesiphon, and the surrounding Persian territories. He is credited as co-founder of the Church of the East, and co-namesake of the liturgy of Addai and Mari still used today. This apostolic succession provided the Church of the East with legitimacy and continuity with Christ's original teachings, independent of Rome or Constantinople. Origins and early development. The Church of the East emerged from the 2nd century to the 3rd century within the Sasanian Persian Empire outside the Roman Church's jurisdiction. Its center was established at Seleucia, Ctesiphon, near modern Baghdad. Christians in this region developed their own theological schools, ecclesiastical structures, and scriptural traditions in classical Syriac. After the Council of Ephesus from 431 to 432, which condemned Nestorius, the Patriarch of Constantinople, for his Christological views, Eastern Christians found theological kinship with his emphasis on Christ's two natures. Though the Church of the East developed its core doctrines independently, it was labeled Nestorian by its Byzantine rivals. The Church rejected the decisions of the Council of Ephesus, and became doctrinally and politically distinct from Western Christendom. Theology and doctrinal identity. Christology. The Church held a diophysite view. Christ exists in two distinct natures, divine and human, united in one person. It rejected the title Theotokos, God-bearer, for Mary, preferring Christotokos, Christ-bearer, emphasizing Jesus' humanity without denying his divinity. Language and worship. Liturgical language. Classical Syriac, a dialect of Aramaic. Central liturgy, the liturgy of Addai and Mari, one of the oldest liturgies in continuous use. Scripture. The Church used the Peshitta, a Syriac version of the Bible, and accepted most of the same books as the broader Christian canon but excluded some deuterocanonical books. Important theologians and leaders. Nestorius. From 386 to 451. Condemned by the Council of Ephesus for allegedly dividing Christ into two persons, Nestorius is revered by the Church of the East as a teacher who emphasized the distinct but united natures of Christ. Theodore of Mopsuestia, from 350 to 428. A primary theological influence, Theodore promoted historical grammatical biblical interpretation and upheld diophysite Christology. Babai the Great, from 551 to 628. Babai authored the Book of Union, the Church's definitive Christological text. He reaffirmed that Christ consists of two kunome natures in one person, and reformed the monastic system. Timothy I, Patriarch, from 780 to 823. Timothy oversaw the Church at its peak under the Abbasid Caliphate. He sent missionaries across India, China, Tibet, and Central Asia, and engaged in theological dialogue with Caliph al-Mahdi. Global expansion. The Church of the East spread farther geographically than any other Christian denomination in the first millennium. Persia and Mesopotamia. Administrative and spiritual center at Seleucia, Ctesiphon, with a strong presence in Assyrian and Persian communities. India. The Church reinforced the ancient Christian presence in Kerala, connected to St. Thomas. Bishops were routinely sent to administer churches there. Central Asia. Missionaries followed the Silk Road, converting Sogdians, Bactrians, and Turkic peoples, establishing Christian communities in trade cities. China. In 635, Bishop Alopan arrived at the court of Tang Emperor Taizong. Christianity was recognized as the luminous religion, Jingjiao. The Nestorian stele erected in 781 documented over a century of activity. Mongolia and the steppes. Nestorianism found favor among Turkic tribes and Mongols. Sorgatani Beki, mother of Kublai Khan, was a Nestorian Christian. Nestorian missionaries were active at Mongol courts from the 13th century to the 14th century. Tibet and Arabia. Evidence shows Nestorian churches and relics existed in Tibet, Yemen, and southern Arabia. Missionary stories and evangelistic triumphs. Alopan in China. In 635, Alopan brought Syriac scriptures and religious icons to Tang China, receiving imperial favor. He translated Christian texts and helped establish churches and monasteries. The faith thrived until Tang suppression in the 9th century. St. Thomas in India. Thomas is believed to have founded 7 churches on the Malabar coast. He was martyred near Chennai. His legacy was sustained by later Nestorian bishops sent to the region. Bishop David of Basra. David, active during the 3rd century, is one of the earliest historical Christian missionaries to India. Markarda. A nobleman from Assyria who converted to Christianity during the 4th century, and was martyred for his faith. His story inspired generations of Nestorian monks and laity. Rabban Bar Salma. From 1220 to 1294. A Nestorian monk born in Beijing, he made an extraordinary pilgrimage from China to Jerusalem, then on to Constantinople, Rome, and Paris. He met Pope Nicholas IV and King Philip IV of France, offering a rare Eastern Christian view of the medieval West. Patriarch Timothy I. From 780 to 823, Timothy sent missionaries across India, Tibet, and China, and corresponded with churches in Sri Lanka, Scythia, and beyond. His leadership reflects the Church's far-reaching influence and diplomacy. Writings and cultural contributions. Key texts. Book of Union. Babai the Great's definitive Christological treatise. Doctrine of Adai, legendary origin of Christianity in Edessa. The Xi'an Stele. Bilingual inscription commemorating Christianity in China. Letters of Timothy I. Rich documentation of administration and diplomacy. Biblical commentaries of Theodore of Mopsuestia, influential across the Church's seminaries. Cultural achievements. Nestorians played a central role in preserving and transmitting Greek science, philosophy, and medicine to the Islamic world. They established schools, hospitals, and scriptoria throughout Asia, translating Christian and classical texts into Syriac, Arabic, Persian, and Chinese. Decline and modern presence. The Church suffered severe decline from the 14th century to the 16th century due to Mongol invasions, Islamic pressure, and persecution under Tamerlane. Yet remnants survived and adapted. Modern descendant churches. Assyrian Church of the East, Ancient Church of the East, Chaldean Catholic Church, in communion with Rome. Syro-Malabar Catholic Church, India. These communities continue to preserve the Syriac liturgy, apostolic traditions, and Nestorian heritage into the present day. Before we continue, please like, comment, and subscribe if you find this content interesting. You're watching Starship TV. Conclusion. The Nestorian Church of the East represents a vital though often overlooked stream of early Christianity, rooted in apostolic authority, forged through theological independence, and carried by the zeal of missionaries and martyrs. It brought the gospel from Mesopotamia to the Pacific coast of China. Through its global reach, cultural contributions, and spiritual resilience, the Church of the East stands as a powerful testament to Christianity's diversity, adaptability,